The last time the Germans and the Japanese collaborated on a big project, it didn't work out very well. This time it has though, with the fantastic Toyota Supra GR. Straight off the BMW production line in Germany, tweaked by the Gazoo engineers, fantastic sports car. Really look forward to getting into it today. And we have a special guest host. It's Katie, come in. This is your car.
It is my car.
Will you drive for me today?
I'd love to.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Oh no. Normally, when we go to review cars, they're beautiful. But look at this. That's gross. We are not going anywhere in this car till I sort that out. That is just unacceptable. Not perfect, but a bit better. Now I'm going to be all sweaty for the rest of the review. Oh, you got all the skills. Look at that.
So it's not my first time out of the driveway, no.
We're rolling in the mighty Supra.
Yeah, welcome to the Supra experience.
Hello, Katie. New host today.
Hi, Stuart.
First time we've had a female host on the show. Special occasion.
Not soon enough, I'm sure.
Yeah. So you and your hubby, you're both doctors, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
You're
yeah.
a paediatrician.
Yeah, paediatric rehab I do.
And do you fix yourself up every time you crash your push bike, or do you need someone else to do that?
My nurses and my physio normally do that for me, yeah.
Because you tend to crash and break yourself a bit, don't you?
Not on purpose,
No.
and not frequently, no, but I do race, and so it's part of the parcel of that, really. There's always a risk.
So for those that don't know, Katie is actually a really good cyclist, as in you compete internationally.
Yeah, I compete locally and nationally in a domestic professional team at an elite level, and then when I go overseas, I am in the masters category. Yeah.
Now, most athletes that I know have really bomby cars.
Why is that?
I don't know. It just seems.
That's probably because they've been athletes for many, many years, and that's their focus.
Yeah.
Whereas I've gone into it a little bit later. So I've already, been established, got a career, had my kids, and then I found the love of cycling after that.
I saw you've got a sports bike in the garage as well.
I've got a Ninja 400 motorbike,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep. Why do you like performance cars?
Well, I've always had a love for cars. My dad's always had a love for cars, and I didn't want to be a doctor. I wanted to be the first Formula One female racing driver.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I, had a big crush on Ayrton Senna when I was younger.
Okay, but you didn't make it to Formula One. Have you done any racing at all?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, I got one up on you there. I have to correct the record here, Katie. Had your dream been realised, you would have been the 6th female Formula One driver. Maria Teresa de Filippis competed in 5 Grand Prix in 1958 for Maserati. Lella Lombardi was a very significant F1 driver and competed for 3 years for March, Ram and Williams, and is still the only woman to have scored points at a World Championship Grand Prix, and unusually for the times was open about her same-sex marriage. Davina Galica was an Olympic skier and raced for Surtees at 3 Grands Prix. South African Desiree Wilson had a short career in Williams FW07, no points, but she did win a non-championship F1 race in 1980 and is thus the only woman to win a Formula One race. But my heart stops when I see Giovanna Amati, who is my age and had 3 race starts for Brabham in 1992. A decade earlier, Amati, from a wealthy family, had been kidnapped and held for 2 months and eventually released for an 800 million lira ransom. Valuable girl. But sadly she failed to qualify at her 3 races. She was replaced by Damon Hill, who also failed to qualify in the same car for 6 of the following 8 races. Shit car. Alright, so today we're in your Supra. This is the latest GR Supra. Is this the GT or the GTS? It's the GT. But you've got the red mirrors on it, I see.
Yeah.
The GTS has a head-up display, 19-inch wheels instead of the 18s, a bit of Alcantara, bigger brakes, and that's about it, really. It's not much.
I do have a head-up display.
You do? Oh,
yeah.
Do you?
Well, maybe I do have the GTS and I didn't realise. I've got the GTS then.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we'll find out.
I've learnt something new about my own car. As you'll realise,
Yes.
as you know by the state of my car when you got it out of my garage, I'm actually more interested in the performance of the car rather than what it looks like.
You got to look good though, don't you?
It doesn't matter to me what I look like when I pull up a set of traffic lights. It matters to me if I'm going to be the first person away.
Right, well let me tell you about Supras. They have a long heritage as a really good sports car for Toyota, and this is the 5th generation of Supras. But with Supra they had to make it a really good performance car. Now all the Supras have been, the 3rd and 4th generation Supras are really good. But Celicas are a bit softer, Do you know where this is made, this car? I mean all Toyotas come from Japan, right?
Yeah, but there were some German components, aren't there, in this?
This one's made in Austria. It's made by BMW.
Okay, yeah.
In fact, if we look under the bonnet, you'll see BMW badging on the coil packs and stuff like that.
And this is all BMW as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hybrid. This is very BMW, but it's a little bit of a hybrid because this is a bit more Toyota-y. But the iDrive system is like previous generation BMW. Yeah. Now, when you looked at this car, what did you consider as alternatives? Did you look at the Z4?
I did. I test drove the Z4. I test drove the Porsche Cayenne. And Cayman, and then I test drove this car. And this car was a recommendation from my son, who said to me, "Do you know, Mum, if you're looking at those cars, what are you actually looking for?" And I said, "Well, I don't know, just a 2-seater convertible sports car." He said, "Have you considered the Toyota Supra?" I said, "I actually haven't." And then he sent me all these YouTube videos where they went up against many other cars.
So what was your feeling when you test drove those 3 cars of this versus the other ones?
I actually test drove them all in the rain. On different days it just happened to be raining, so it was quite a good comparison. If you were looking for handling on the corners, the Porsche probably came up best.
Yep.
The BMW to me was a little bit sort of more plush and luxurious.
Yep.
And when I got into this car, which was the 3rd car I test drove, as it was in that order, I just thought, wow, this car is so raw. It's not, it gave you an experience, like a racing car experience. So every time I chose the car that I wanted to get, every single time I get into this car, I get a little cheeky smile on my face. I absolutely love it. Even just driving to work gives me a race feel experience, and I didn't get that in the other cars. They're more luxurious, they're more padded, they had better soundproofing, but I like the raw sound of this, especially if you flick it into sport mode and then you get the engine sound coming back through the speakers. It's just awesome. You get the exhaust, sort of the double declutching sound as well. It just gave a completely different feel, a completely different experience.
Okay.
And it got to the point where, I had the BMW dealership saying to me, "Well, can we give you a better deal? We really want you to buy the car. Can we price match the Supra? Is it a pricing issue?" And
really?
I said,
because that car's $35,000-$40,000 more expensive than this car.
Absolutely. So they offered to price match for the Supra for me, for the Z4.
Amazing.
And I said, "No, I'm really sorry. There's nothing you can say now that will change my mind. Now I've test driven this car."
Well, you're actually bearing out what a lot of the other reviewers have been saying. And now I haven't driven the BMW Z4 M40i. They certainly think it's more gentleman cruiser than this is hardcore sporty.
Absolutely, 100%.
There's 2 modes, just normal and sport, aren't there?
There's normal and sport. You can alter each mode, so you can personalise them to however hard you want the suspension to feel.
And when do you pop it into sport mode?
Well, normally if I'm pulling up to a red light, so this is the only car I've ever driven where I'm desperate for the lights to turn red on me. And if I'm first in the queue, and especially if my daughter's in with me, she just gives me a little sideways look, a smile, flicks it into sport mode, and boom,
go
away.
for it, Mum.
Yeah. Or my son was saying to me, "Mum, drive it faster. And I said, no. I said, "There's a speed limit." He said, "Yeah, but there's no limit to which you can achieve that speed, Mum. Just do it."
Okay, do you drive it in manual mode much? Do you pop it over to manual and drive it on the gears?
No, I don't, but you can do. And when you do, I tend to use this. So you can do it on the paddles.
Yep.
Change gear on the paddles, or you can change gear here.
You're in 8th gear at the moment,
I know. And it tells you, unfortunately, it gives you a little thing. It's like, you shouldn't be in this gear, you should be in this gear.
Why don't you change up? It's just trying to save you as much fuel as possible.
Yeah.
If we go sport mode?
Yeah, go for it.
Just to get it. Now we've got around 250 kilowatts. Later versions of this car have more. They've got 285. But 250 is plenty. And 500 newton meters.
It's more than enough for what I use it for. Did you hear that? It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Now, let's see the buffeting.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of wind noise there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's bad on the eardrums. It's going bob, 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 bob.
I never drive with the windows down.
It's actually
And
very quiet.
that was one of the compromises, obviously, going for this car and not the other two, was the fact that I wouldn't have a convertible.
A nice little pop and burble there on the overrun.
Yeah, that's only in sport mode.
Show us the mighty horn.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh my God, Jesus!
Jesus.
Oh, I hope that cyclist is alright.
Okay.
Do you want to show the real horn? You ready?
Yep.
Listen carefully. Doesn't it sound like something off a children's car?
That's off a noddy car.
Noddy car. It's embarrassing.
That was embarrassing.
And nobody notices.
That's not like... You know how your bikes... Under New South Wales law, your bike's got to have a bell.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come up and somebody chops you off and, and runs you into the gutter, you can go ding just to scare the hell out of them. My bike's got a bell. It doesn't have one go. It goes, yeah. Now, seats are good. Ergonomics are nice.
Yeah, that's another thing I noticed compared to the other cars.
Yep.
You get in the seats, they're more sort of bucket feel seats, like they really grip you well. I mean, I'm really small, so I slide around on seats quite a lot normally.
Yep. You need good bolsters to hold you in.
Yeah.
I would have thought the Cayman would be pretty good. And does it get a lot of attention? Do you find people wave at you, take your picture, stop you, look at you twice when you get out of it?
Well, when I first got it, so I got a lot of attention then, and a lot of like real classic Toyota Supra fans. So we're coming, oh, that's the new Supra, is it? You know what? And they all want to know, what do you think of it? That was their main question. Like, I'm sure would get more people looking at this and appreciating it than the BMW or the Porsche in comparison.
Yep.
Because it's more unique, and because the type of people that come up and ask me about it are actually really avid car fans.
Yep.
Not just, it's a nice car. It looks far cheaper than the BMW and the Porsche ones, but the feel of it is so much nicer.
It's a narrower rim.
Yeah.
BMW has big fat rims, whereas you've got skinny little fingers.
Yeah. And it gives you a more racing feel. It's a much more raw experience.
You heard it from the owner. It's a much more raw racing experience. You're going to be a YouTuber. You're
I'll tell that to my 18-year-old son.
You're an influencer.
Oh.
Now, I want to point out some things on this car. It's got a lot of vents on it, like fake, fake, fake. It doesn't need to do that. Not real. All right, from behind though, it's got a sexy bum. These flanks are really nice, aren't they? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I love the lines. I love it. Absolutely love it.
How much space you got?
Absolutely tons. You take this out.
Oh yeah.
You can just lift that out, take it out completely.
Oh yeah.
So you've got the speakers, so the sound system is brilliant in the car.
You can get a surfboard in there.
You can actually get a bike with the wheels off in there.
Really?
Yeah.
You can get your racing push bike in there?
Yeah, with the wheels off.
Wow.
Yeah, no, plenty of room, and that's one of the reasons why, as a busy working mum, I need it.
Is it electronic or manual? It's manual, look at that. Nice and close. Good brakes.
God, I hate being a passenger in my own car.
Yeah, steering is very pointy. It's very light. Could be a little bit heavier. It's still good. Yeah, it's a quick car. Brakes. Yeah, it's a little light in the rear when you get off the throttle. But
Yeah.
it leans forward.
It does.
The back goes a little bit light. Sports cars like this are normally a bit heavier.
Well, I think that when I drove the Porsche, it was definitely heavier, and that's why it handled better,
Yep.
especially on these sort of corners here. straight off
bumps.
camber.
Yep.
So many people have just gone into that
Yep.
on their bikes.
Actually, the ride's really good. Yeah, and it's responsive too. And a little pop and bang there. It's fun driving it on the
I love
paddles.
that.
You should use the paddles more often rather than. It's much
Yeah.
easier than doing that.
Yeah, it doesn't come naturally to me.
Just because if your hands are always in the right same position, 9 and 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very capable car. Heaps of torque. Pulls really well, doesn't it? It's a lot of BMW. It's built on the same chassis as the BMW Z4 M40i, but at some point, the Toyota guys from Gazoo Racing, that's the GR in the Supra GR, decided to go their own way. So they've calibrated their own steering weighting, their own gear shifting on the box, and the suspension tuning is very much Japanese. And it's funny that BMW, who promotes itself as the ultimate driver's car, is the one that's actually the boulevard cruiser, and this is the one that's the hardcore sports car. Don't you think that's weird?
Yeah, I do. And I've driven BMWs before, and this doesn't drive to me like a BMW. It doesn't feel like a BMW. I know underneath the engine, and everyone will take the piss out of me and say, yeah, just driving a BMW. But you put yourself in here, because it's open at the back as well, you feel like you're in this little shell, and you're just having your own little personal experience of Toyota driving.
Yeah.
Really.
It's unlike any other Toyota. Your turn to scare me. Righto, here
I
we
don't
go.
think I will.
I don't think you will either. Those
Okay.
Gazoo engineers did a great job with the suspension tuning on this car, and it's a terrible road. It's, as you know, riding your bike down here, it's terribly sketchy. They're very good corners, these ones, to test the suspension of a car because they're very tight.
This next hairpin is
15k an hour corner here, but big bumps on the inside, and you get traction, you put the power down, and there you go. And it pulls really well. Voted in the world's 10 best engines, this engine. And it is good, isn't it? It pulls 500 newton meters from just above idle, is solid torque. 0 to 100 in this car, 4.1 seconds in the auto. The current driver got 3.7.
Yeah, I saw that.
Wow, which is really quick. How's the vision?
So the vision in this is a lot better than the BMW. When I said I test drove them, both on a rainy day,
Yeah.
the vision here, because you can see right through,
Yep.
you get a lot of light coming in the back.
Okay.
And I have no problems with my current mirror setups. I can see everything.
Now,
Oh, the good thing, so, you know, you can talk to it. The great thing is you can write on here.
oh yes.
I love that
Yep.
feature. I use that quite a lot if I'm writing an address whilst I'm driving.
Yep. How about a Mustang? Did you look at them?
I didn't actually, no. Because I'm from England, Mustangs are very rare.
Are you from England? I would never have guessed.
But here in Australia, there's,
Yeah.
there's quite a few of them.
Yeah, but you don't want a big beefy V8, mate.
So Aaron, my son, did do a little shortlist for me, and the Mustang was on there, and he absolutely loved it. But
But
it wasn't
he's
gonna
not
be-
you.
No, and then when I decide,
Yep.
and I'm not the most patient person in the world, so once I've seen something and I like it, then I get my little heart set on it.
Yep.
And
Okay. You've got the mirrors.
yeah,
Okay. So not that one, not the Mustang. How about the Mercedes? Well, you had a Mercedes before, and you didn't really want to it.
I don't want to be a Mercedes driver
C43A.
again.
You don't want to be a Merc driver again? Okay.
No, North Shore mum car.
Well, then that just leaves you the Supra, or here's one you didn't consider, brand new car, the new Nissan Z car. Have you seen that?
No.
Because that would be a competitor to this. It's cheaper. Well, it's also a two-door coupe. It's also got a twin-turbo. It's got this is a single turbo. It's got a twin-turbo motor with more power. It's got 298 kilowatts and more torque. So it's up there in performance with this car. So also a nice car.
Was that out when I bought this in 2019?
No, they weren't. No, they weren't.
Okay.
They're only just out now. So, do you know this car's being brought out in a manual now for the first time?
Yeah, and I wish I had a manual version of it.
But they didn't have it back then.
They didn't have it back then, and I actually was thinking of waiting because they thought it might be released a year later. But obviously these things always take time.
You would have had a 3-year wait.
Yeah.
Maybe 4. No, you did well. So when the lease runs up on this car, you're going to buy it?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's an endorsement.
In a month's time.
Tell you what I'll do for you. Anytime you want it cleaned, I'll do a better job next time because I did a rush job today just to get it ready for this shoot. But bring it round. and I'll clean it for you because it's a nice car.
Well, that shows that you're a car lover, and this is a great car.
Yeah. So thank you, Katie, for being our special guest today. You could see I wasn't pushing it hard, but I heard later it was brisk enough to alarm Katie more than she was letting on, which surprises me because the way she descends a mountain on a push bike is truly terrifying. So I didn't drive it hard enough to properly assess its handling limits, nor evaluate the fully variable electronic limited slip diff. But I can't go without saying a few things about the car. The steering was precise but very light, as I said, without a lot of feel and not as communicative as, say, a modern Porsche. But I totally see why Katie loves it. Goes, stops, turns, 0 to 60, 4 seconds is fast enough by anyone's standards. It has polarising looks, it's a conversation starter. To me, the best feature was the shock absorber and suspension tuning, which seemed spot on. But strangely, I did not fall for the car. It didn't really leave an emotional footprint on me. Maybe when she takes up my offer and I give it a proper polish, then I'll feel differently. For a 3-year-old car, that paint needed some love. We'll get Mark to train you because he spends a lot of time training young drivers, but generally by the time they're 18 they're too old. They really need to be go-kart champions at 14 and 15.
Yeah, I'm not Verstappen, so I think I will just give that one a miss.
Yep, nice work. You flew in there. Thank you for watching inCARnation today. Please stay tuned, lots of adventures ahead with the restoration of the old Porsche I just got, and plenty of reviews with Mark coming up. Anyone can race a car. As I've always said, it's the guy who can park the transporter with an inch on either side to the next transporter. That's the guy with the talent.
Yeah, my dad was a lorry driver.
Okay. Oh hey, you made it right through to the end of the video. Congratulations. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, please share it with your motoring friends. And above all, click the little subscribe thing down here so you can see the latest videos when we bring them out, hopefully each week. I look forward to seeing you soon.